Click the first link in the description for the best Askreddit content. AITA for being offended that my daughter called me ugly. This isn't a big deal, but I feel like I'm going crazy over it. Yesterday at dinner, my daughter, 15F, was telling my wife, 40F, and I, 45 meters, about a guy she likes in school and she thinks he likes her back. My wife and I were happy for her and I would support her liking anyone that treats her right and makes her happy. She was telling us how he's smart, funny, and has a great six-pack. I'm used to the girl talk. My wife laughed and said something along the lines of, as long as he's a good person. My daughter replied, well yeah, but looks are also important. I don't want to end up with someone like daddy. I asked her what she meant by that. I don't remember her exact words, but it was along the lines of that I'm round, bald and short. There was no immediate just kidding from her. I told her that that wasn't a nice thing to say to and that she should apologize. Before she said anything though, my wife chimed in teasing that guys were always so sensitive. My daughter laughed. I usually would immediately address this kind of situation, but I was pretty upset and didn't want to scream or cry. I know that's so lame. I stayed mostly silent for the rest of dinner. A bit of background, I've recently been feeling more self-conscious. I'm not ugly, even if I was. I have other qualities to make up for it. And I know that my wife adores me, but I've definitely noticeably gained some weight and lost some hair. My wife is as stunning and youthful as the day I met her, and my daughter is the spitting image of her. However, I have a feeling that if my daughter insulted her appearance she would be very offended and expect me to back her up. Before bed, I addressed the issue with my wife. I explained that it hurt my feelings, that I want to teach my daughter to be kind to others, and that it would mean a lot if we could both talk to my daughter about why saying that was not right. My wife didn't take me seriously at all. Among the things she said was that the best way to make someone stop teasing you is to ignore it. I don't want to treat my daughter like a middle school bully. And that she, my wife, was also materialistic at that age but grew out of it on her own. She also said that I was asking for it by asking her what she meant. I told my wife that I was disappointed in her and I would be talking to my daughter alone when she comes home from school today. I plan on talking to my daughter today, both because I'm still offended and I really don't want her to say that to anyone else. I don't plan on punishing her, just having an honest conversation and seeing where it goes. Nonetheless, I'm partially wondering if I'm the asshole for escalating the situation since it's a one-off occurrence. NTA, even if she was joking, that's a behavior that needs to be put to rest before she starts talking about others that way. Regardless of how someone looks, it's not right to judge them solely on that. NTA, your wife needs to have your back. Your daughter was just being a dumb teenage girl and obviously wouldn't find a middle-aged man attractive, so I wouldn't take it too personally. But I agree you should speak to her so she understands words can hurt. Yeah, the daughter is just a teenager. What is the wife's excuse? That she's just mean? NTA, it's a huge problem when we tell men/boys that they're being too sensitive when someone makes hurtful comments. Your wife's behavior is really disappointing and I think sitting your daughter down and explaining that she upset you is an excellent idea. Totally NTA. What your daughter said was totally rude and uncalled for. And your wife shouldn't be so okay with her saying that either. AITA for cooking Indian food as a non-Indian. I'm a 22-year-old white guy. Growing up, I had a best friend in school, Jay, who was from India. I frequently went over to his house and his mom served us amazing North Indian food, not just the stuff you find in restaurants, but authentic food she prepared from spices she got from India. Jay and I are still friends, but we live in different states now. Over time, I've picked up some Indian recipes like butter chicken, biryani etc. I tend to cook by myself and if I have time, I make Indian food. Recently a guy moved in with me, he's from college and I know him well. His girlfriend also tends to hang out in our apartment. Yesterday I was making biryani, this amazing dish with rice and spicy chicken, and the girlfriend asked me what I was making. I explained her about biryani and how it's one of the very popular Indian dishes. She was apparently pissed for some reason. She didn't say anything then but later came up to me and told me that she wasn't comfortable that I was blatantly appropriating Indian culture. I told her that I have an Indian best friend and he actually approves of my cooking, but she wasn't convinced. She said that she trusts her beliefs and that she won't engage with me any further. So, this is ridiculous. But AITA, I want to prove a point. Also, she's white too. NTA, I mean non-Mexican people can make tacos and non-Italian people can make pasta, right? What does this girl even eat? If I had to live solely on the cuisine of my country of origin, I'd be incredibly depressed. NTA, girlfriend is a moron. Tell her she's a monster next time she makes tacos or orders in Chinese food. Oh please, can you imagine if we Italians got offended every time somebody cooks pasta or pizza? NTA. NTA. How does she feel about making tacos, lasagna, shepherd's pie, schnitzels? Which cultures is it okay to appropriate from, and which isn't it? Sounds like she's one of those people who just needs to always be outraged about something. AITA for leaving roommate's 4-year-old home alone with a friend for hours because I don't want to normalize babysitting. Edit, because some are confused on why I think I'm an ass/posted this. The main issue from Rose's side is that I left a male babysitter who is a stranger to her, and there's this thing against babysitters being males. Maybe I'm not some cultures. I thought it was more obvious from the post alone, but I'm just clarifying here. I've been living with my roommate, Rose, since the beginning of the quarantine. We didn't choose to be each other's roommates. Everything was by landlord. We aren't exactly close since we're just roommates. I tend to stay in my room and every now and then we talk, but it's mostly just hi, hello, good morning, etc. Recently Rose had an issue and she needed to bring her daughter in, 4 years old. I'm sure what happened entirely, I just know that it's an emergency. The girl has been here for 3 months. At the beginning we had a long talk about boundaries, agreements, etc. because of the sudden addition. I told her that under no circumstance would I be a babysitter even if I get a stay-at-home week/day. I don't want to suddenly become the constant babysitter. Rose cannot work at home, but I sometimes am able to. She agreed and explained that she is perfectly okay with this so long as I'm okay with her inviting either babysitters or family to watch the baby. Agreed so long as they didn't get a copy of the key, like maybe one family member/babysitter but not all of them. Where I might be the asshole, Rose apparently couldn't find a babysitter or something because when I woke up the baby was in my bed sleeping and she left a note/text explaining that her babysitter couldn't come. I was absolutely pissed. I tried texting and calling but she didn't answer and I had to work in person. I called up a friend for a favor, and they babysitted while I worked. Told them of any injuries, etc. When I got home Rose was pissed that I left the baby with a stranger. She said that while my friend was nice, that I had no right to leave the baby with someone she personally didn't know and that I never know what could happen. She says that she understands I had work but that I'm being ridiculous to not never offer babysitting at all, especially if I'm home for a week on a week off. Where I think I'm not the asshole, I was cranky and told her to fuck off because I had work and could have left the baby alone, and that I told her to never rely on me for babysitting, etc. I trust my friend since he's been working in daycare. She's angry and says I don't know how I endangered the baby and that she will call the police the next time. I told her that I will call the police the next time she leaves the baby alone. I told her that I will call the police the next time she leaves the baby alone. NTA, this is the correct response. She abandoned her child without a please or a thank you. Hell, she went into your room to put her to bed. I would invest in a lock. That is a gross invasion of privacy. I mean, this was supposed to be a threat. I'm not actually sure what I would do if the baby was here alone with me suddenly. My door has a lock but I normally don't put it because I'm a deep sleeper and if something happens I'm screwed. I learned my lesson : My God, You are NTA. I can't believe she just left her child with you in your bed. She knew you'd say no if she woke you up. I probably would have called the police as soon as she didn't answer her phone. I'd also lodge a complaint with your landlord and request a new roommate. He is way out of line. NTA, good God, who just leaves their baby in their roommate's bed when they haven't consented to babysit? Something is very, very wrong with Rose. You made sure someone was watching the child, which was the right thing to do even though it wasn't your responsibility. You are more than fine. So that I understand this, she couldn't find a babysitter, so she left the kid with you while you were asleep and didn't even bother waking you to ask you, and got mad you got a babysitter so you could go to work? What did she expect? You to call out to babysitter her kid for free? NTA.